and taste the convenience of home-cooked comfort without the hassle.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Nebraska Volleyball just wrapped up another match. Join former Husker Mandy Monson as she breaks down the game from the hard swings and perfect sets to the diving digs and precision passing. 93.7 The Ticket's post-game coverage of Nebraska Volleyball starts now.
Another great afternoon from your Husker Volleyball team, and we're here to break all of it down and more. Rudy Gress here with Mandy Monson, downtown O Street in Lincoln, Nebraska, Probably got a lot to talk about today, but again, as you said when you got here, another dominating day for the Huskers. So wanted to hear what you had to start it off with.
Yeah, it was a really good match. I mean, the Huskers came out in set one, and Purdue, I've never been at that venue, but as what people spoke about and then what I saw on the broadcast today, Purdue is not necessarily an easy venue to play in. It's very loud. They're basically student block. I think we would have been basically right in front of them for two sets for set one and then three. So they're really loud, and their venue seemed to be packed today. So I think for the Huskers to come in to come into that venue and really just get better throughout the match was really fun to see. We knew that Purdue was probably going to be a little bit more competitive than what we saw with Washington. And they were. I mean, Purdue came out very strong in set one. Woolard, who is their left side, she had actually a pretty good match today. She was the Big Ten player, of the week last week. She had 14 kills overall for the match. In set one, I think she had over 7 because she was hitting pretty strong. And then Heaney was their right side that played pretty strong. I felt like in that first set, Nebraska kind of came out and they had to get honestly kind of acclimated to the venue. Yeah. I thought Purdue served really tough in that first set. And so we just weren't quite in system the way that we typically are. We had some errors and maybe just weren't quite as aggressive in set one. But the team really, they got through that first set, which was big, because I think the score of the first set was 25, where I can't find it, 25-23. Yep. So Purdue hung with us. And so to come out that first set and be able to clinch that was big. I think Purdue also got to 20, I think, before we did in that first set. Basically, Nebraska, when they get into the red zone of volleyball, which is whoever hits 20 points first, we're undefeated so far this year. So for them to be able to do that was key. But what happened, then we came out in set two, and I feel like we just, we made the adjustments that we needed to make as far as, I think our passing got better. And we were just much more aggressive. I mean, Andy Jackson in set two, came on really strong. Although I do have to say this, oh my God, she got a ball set to her in the back row, and she ended up putting it into the tape. I was so sad. So in the last week, I was like, okay, what's one thing that they could do? Set Andy Jackson in the back row. Please do not stop that, everybody. Yeah. I just want to see her tee off one match from the back row. The great thing is that both Harper and T. Sigler were doing that for the Huskers in the back row. So, set two, they played much better. Just got a lot stronger. And then set three, really what happens, what I'm seeing with the opponents is that, even Purdue, even though they played us really strong, the first set, man, opponents just kind of get wore down. We just have so many options and so many offensive threats. And then from a defensive standpoint, we just don't let many balls drop. So in sets 2 and set 3, we definitely played defense a lot better. Our blocking was much better in set 2 and set 3. And so balls that Woolard and Heaney, and then the other left side, her first name was Anderson, balls that they were getting down earlier, they weren't terminating. And I think from a mental standpoint, that just gets to be very, very tiring. So I think overall the Huskers played well. Like I said, they had to get a little bit warmed up and kind of get acclimated to the venue in set 1. But then when it came to sets 2 and 3, I mean, we were really dominating. I wrote down some notes when I was watching the match, and I always like to hear we're so used to seeing it, in Nebraska and right. And so I always think it's fun to kind of listen to what do the other announcers that aren't around this all the time, what do they say? And what I found to be really fascinating and really cool, and I think is actually a really great compliment to this team and everything that they're doing, is when the Huskers make mistakes, they're like, oh, they had a human moment in set 1, meaning they weren't they weren't that typical, but how this team is being thought of is just really pretty dominant, invincible. And so when they don't, come out as dominating, oh, well, then they're human. They're like normal people. I had never heard that before. I think that's amazing that's the compliment that this team is getting and being given from, other people that observe the game, other announcers. The other thing too is that one of the announcers said, Nebraska eats dominance for breakfast every day and twice on Sunday. And I thought, that's really, I love that. I might steal that. I think they do. And I think that's what they showed today in the progression through the match.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of going back on what you said, in your time playing, how did it take you to kind of get used to some gymnasiums like today, how you were bringing that up? What are the players kind of feeling in that moment, if it makes sense, what I'm asking?
Yeah, it totally does. I mean, I think as a player, right, you prepare all week and, you do your best to be prepared for what that venue is going to be. I remember back when I was playing, when we always did the Texas Road Show, which would be a lot of times it was Lubbock, it was Texas Tech, and then we'd go to the University of Texas and play. And those venues were always pretty loud, pretty rowdy. And so you prepare for it, but you really don't know what that's going to be like until you hit the floor and until you hear it and people are razzing you. And as a player, you just have to do your best to, keep yourself in check mentally and just honestly not get fazed by it. I think one thing that helps Nebraska from a mental ability to do that is we play in front of 8,000 plus fans, or however many the Devaney, right, with seating and standing. We play against that. I mean, we play in front of that crowd, every home match. So for us, when we go into a venue and they actually sell theirs out, well, that's just, now obviously it's nice and friendly and all that at Devaney, but I think for our players to then come into more of a, I'll say, hostile. I mean, I thought, Purdue was competitive. They had a fun atmosphere, but I think again, it took us a little bit to get settled down in set 1, but by the time set 2 and 3 came around, I mean, we looked very comfortable, highly confident, not a whole lot was phasing us. But I think as a player, as you asked me, I think it's just right. It's breathing. It's, if you have a mistake, it's what you're going to make mistakes. You are going to be human in the game of volleyball, in the match of volleyball. Even our Nebraska Huskers, who sometimes seem to be able to be above humanity for volleyball. But no, I think they did a really good job of composing themselves. Virginia Adriano, who, is a very dominant player, she didn't quite, have the match that I'm sure that she would like to. She hit negative this match. She just just wasn't quite there this match. And then, but that the beauty of Nebraska is that Ali Czech comes off the bench and has a great match. And she really only played at the very end of, set 2 and then all of set 3. So, right, Virginia's, not having the best match. So we bring Ali, off the bench. She hits 625 and gets 5 kills. Yeah. And going back to what I said about what Nebraska does against opponents as far as wearing them down is that's what what I just put in front of you is, okay, if we have a player that's a great player, Virginia's a great player, but it just wasn't her match today. So we're able then to bring another great player off the bench. And that's what that player does. And it's not like when the bench players come onto the court that Bergen has to stay away from, like she doesn't. She can set them as confidently, as she can set any of the other players that have been, playing the whole match.
Yeah, I think that's something too. I think that's something that separates a lot of the good teams from the great teams is just the depth. And again, not like you're saying, just here comes the bench player, but it's like we're gonna have our girls out there that are going to be the most impactful. And if they're not, the next person up, there's not a beat miss. And I think that's something that Nebraska's done really well, not just this year, but in years past as well. Kind of going off this year, though, what do you think Coach DBK, her taking this role here was not easy in the shoes she had to fill at all. But what do you think, off to this dominant start, perfect start, what have you seen that's kind of not a secret tale here, but what do you think she's doing just perfectly to kind of fit this mold?
Yeah, I think when I watch her on the bench and when I listen to her in post games and whatnot, I think she has a lot of trust and confidence in her players. And when you have a lot of trust and confidence in your players, in their competence and their ability to, right, play the game, see the game, adjust to the game, I think that makes your opportunity to continue to focus on going from whatever level you're at to the next level. You just makes that process more efficient. And when I watch her, I think she does a great job of, quite frankly, being composed. Her whole staff does. I mean, you don't really see their staff getting, super, riled up. I mean, Jalen's just a great coach and he always brings the energy. And I noticed I was watching a replay of the Penn State match because I actually didn't initially get to watch that whole match. And so this weekend I watched the replay and my God, I mean, that match was also a match of dominance and domination. But you could wherever the mics were for that match, you could actually kind of pick up some of, I think it was Jalen. And so I just think the cadence and the way that our coaches interact and speak with the players and how they communicate with the players during the match, it's a very aligned, cohesive, and I can't find the word that I'm trying to say, but it's not like a typical hierarchy of, okay, we're the coaches, you're the players, we're going to tell you what to do and you need to go execute it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I mean, I just feel like there's just a lot of respect between coaches and players and everybody's ability to do their job. And when you have, that's really that is a very special thing to have on a team. I think that's why you see this team being able to elevate above, where they were at last year and the previous year, because that's just an element that this team has this year. And I think Coach Danny Busboom Kelly does a great job of providing that environment and creating that space for her coaches and her players to collectively work together to get the best result.
Yeah, I think there's times too, I played Division III baseball, a little different, but I think I've seen in my own coaching times with my previous coaches, there's times where that, not an issue, but there's times where that friendliness line is kind of blurred a little too much.
It can be.
And yes.
And that's not good, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
That is not a good thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say she does a great job of kind of, I'm gonna respect them. I'm gonna treat them as human beings too, but I also know that like that, her boundaries she sets with these girls is also really well. I think she's talked about how some of them went to the Tate McRae concert a couple nights ago, and it was
I saw that.
Yeah, and she kept it light, kept it funny, but then boom, on to the next question. I really like that about her.
Yeah, right. That's such a great example. She was asked about, she was like, well, I really didn't want him to, but they went. she said, yeah, they went, and I trust them that they're going to get back on time and they're going to do what they need to do. Oh, and by the way, when you look at the stats, Harper Murray hit 400. So I think she did okay going to the concert. Let me give you, though, an example of when you do have some coaching that doesn't work with the players. And I'll go back to when I was a senior in '99. And this is just to give you an example of how it can go wrong. So we were playing at Texas, and we went 5 sets in that match. It was a very just back and forth match. And in that match, at that time, Jill McWilliams and then we had a 2-setter system. Jill McWilliams was one of the setters, and then Lindsay Wishmeyer, who's now the director of volleyball operations, she was the second setter. But there was just a lot of coaching that was going on during that match, and a lot of really trying to communicate to our setters who they needed to set, etc. And that's where, if you don't quite have that trust between your coaching staff and your setters, it can break down. Because I remember, I think we had some points that that we lost, because essentially you have your coach that's trying to tell you, hey, here's what you need to do. You got the setter that's trying to listen. And when you're in a 5-set match, and that was when I think they had just got done building their newest venue, so they weren't in the arena anymore. So it was really, you were really confined, and it was really loud. And so that's an example of where it just didn't quite, that doesn't work very well, right? You really need to be able to have that trust in your players and their ability to execute. And I think a demonstration of where you see that today is, right, even though Purdue came out really strong and they served us tough, and they had, like I said, Woolard, their left side, who was the player of the week for the Big Ten last week for, I think, the pin hitters. She played really well. Our coaching staff just didn't get too overly excited about it. They made the adjustments, and they just really trust our players to execute and to be able to adjust as well. Yeah.
Nice. I definitely have some more questions that we will be getting into after this break here. If you are listening on the radio, you are going to hear the stream kind of switch over to NFL football. If you do want to stay tuned with us, which I know most of y'all probably do, join us on Twitter, YouTube, anywhere you can find us. We will be live on stream as soon as we get back.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top-quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Attention all Wings fans. Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays, enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O, or in Williamsburg Village. Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Imagine starting your day with a computer glitch that leaves you feeling stuck, frustrated, and unable to get your work done. You have 1,000,001 things to get done today, and waiting for the tech issue to solve itself isn't one of them. It's time to let Hamilton handle the tech so you don't have to. We help businesses across the state spend more time on what they do best and less time frustrated with office technology. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we're focused on providing custom solutions that set you up for success now and in the future. Connect with us today at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
When your home fills up with family, Allo Fiber makes sure that space is a happy place for everyone. Allo Fiber experts install it all, and full service means step-by-step support, guiding you through everything so you can stay connected to what matters, and the family can always feel at home. Put the game on, and don't worry about your Wi-Fi calling a timeout. Better TV and internet service is one connection away. Call Allo at 866-481-2556 or visit allofiber.com.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at gainatrucking.com.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all. O Street Carpet. 1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
When the clock strikes 0 after every Nebraska football game, there's only one place to go for instant coverage. Tune in for the Husker After Party Postgame Show on 93.7 The Ticket for each game, win or lose. Call in with all your takes or text the show at 464-5685 and hear quotes from the players and coaches too. It's the Husker After Party Postgame Show, sponsored by Anderson Ford and Vinny Krikak of State Farm Insurance.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Get geared up for savings like you've never seen before during Elway Days. Their biggest sale of the year runs October 14th through the 18th, when every red tag machine is priced at invoice plus $300. That's it. No freight, no setup, no extra fees. Don't miss out on these epic savings. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at the 27th and I-80 location.
Back to Nebraska Volleyball postgame on 93.7 The Ticket. Here is your host, former Nebraska outside hitter, Mandy Monson.
Welcome back to the Husker Volleyball game post show. We, in between breaks, talked a little bit about the kind of game we saw from Harper Murray today. So I just wanted to get into some more of your thoughts, more what you saw from a better view than I have. So ready when you are.
Yeah, I love that. So, Harper Murray, I really wanted to give her props for the match today. She, and I've been talking about this all season, where she's really elevated her play is just her consistency in being just a player that has a real consistent effort and performance every match. And in some of these previous matches, there's have been some other players that maybe we've been able to be like, oh, wow. And then it's like, yeah, but then Harper's always there. I feel like she's such a great base for the team, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then today what happened is, again, set one. I mean, when you look at set one, when you look at attack by set and attack percentage. So set one, Purdue hit 289. Set two, they hit 069. Set three, then they got a little bit better. But why I'm talking about this in regards to Harper Murray is, I mean, I think she really did a great job of leading the team today and of providing that great base. But then really when the team needed someone to step up, she absolutely stepped up. I mean, she had 16 kills off of 25 attacks, no errors, and she hit 640. I mean, anytime a pin hitter can really hit above 250, hit above 300, right there, they're playing really well. And I mean, she I don't know. I felt like she just like went to another level today. Like when they needed to get a kill, she could get it either from the pin, front row, from the outside, or they could shoot her, set her on, the back row attack, and she could terminate the ball that way. The other thing that she did today is that she served very well. She had 2 service aces, which is fun to see her already then for all-time service aces for the Huskers. I think now she's tied with Kinsey Knuckles. So, right, only a junior, now tied with Kinsey Knuckles. I think it was at 90 service aces. So, Harper just continues to be that figure on the team that is just so consistent, that is so such a great physical presence, but then just, I think, that mental, consistent, very strong leadership presence, that it doesn't matter how good a team is, a team has to have those players. The other player that did that today was Andy Jackson. And that's why they're captains, right? Yeah. Andy Jackson just, I don't know, man, she played really, really strong. I mean, some of the connections that she and Bergen had were just highly impressive. I mean, we're talking about a velocity on the ball that's coming at you if you're the opposing team when she's attacking it is just unreal. And so I also feel like Andy was another player in that match where, yeah, I mean, Purdue came out really strong and they had, they did some things better than other teams have been able to do against us. But I mean, it just didn't phase us. And I think both Harper and Andy did a great job of, providing that like real strength and dominance in the way that they play to, just really keep the team moving forward.
Yeah, kind of going off of that too. Like when a team like Purdue does come out, and they're a good team, we've talked about, when they come out that strong, like what is kind of the vibe? Obviously, you win the first set there by 2, I believe. And so like moving forward from that, how do you kind of settle down the team, and what is the thought process of what the team is at that point?
Yeah, I think it's just going back to, okay, hey, we got pushed, right? It's like, but it's learning, okay, well, where did we get pushed? What broke down? And then improving on it. And I think that's what this team does such a great job, from the coaching staff and to the players. They don't, go within themselves, right? I mean, you just don't see players really kind of shrink within themselves when they're not playing well. Again, Virginia maybe didn't have the strongest match that she has, but even when she was on the court, I didn't feel like she, shrunk or got nervous or was scared. I mean, just sometimes it's not your match. And, Allie came in and she played really strong. But I think that's what the Huskers do so well, is that they adjust, they adjust. I mean, you even see things happening throughout the entire match where we're in the third set. I mean, we were pretty high on the scoreboard as far as being able to close that out. Allie Check comes out and Danny has her sit by her because she just wanted to give her some blocking, technique feedback. So I think what our coaching staff and our players do such a good job is consistently and constantly communicating on what we can do better. And maybe an opposing team comes out really strong. But then what we do is we circle up and we make those adjustments. And that's what Nebraska did this match. I mean, they definitely adjusted in game 2. I mean, Purdue only, like I said, hit, .069 for a hitting percentage in that set. And we definitely, we served tougher, I would say, that set. So that helped a lot. And then I think our block just, became a little bit more of a presence in set 2 that allowed us to adjust to Purdue coming out very strong in set 1.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then going back to, again, like I said earlier, the good problem of when teams are in other announcers, other fans are able to say, oh, well, they're just being human, which is, again, a good problem to have. In terms of how, like, Husker volleyball just on its own and volleyball as a whole is getting way more expansion now, but why do you think it is that so many fans around the country, because Nebraska volleyball is becoming a countrywide brand? I see it in Texas all the time, even though I have friends who are Longhorn fans. They definitely will tune into a Husker game quite a bit, and I'll do that too, obviously. Why do you think it is that so many people do kind of gravitate towards this team?
Towards this team?
Yes.
Because they're awesome.
Just in general, yeah.
I mean, they're playing at a level that is quite impressive. And I think also what makes this team really enjoyable to watch is that they play it very joyfully, and they have a lot of fun together. I mean, it's like watching the match today. I mean, even when we were getting pushed more in set 1, you still saw the Huskers smiling. You still saw them having fun together. And so I think that is what then makes their charisma and their presence from a product that a lot of people want to consume, whether you're in Nebraska or outside of Nebraska. If you're just a volleyball fan, I think that makes a difference. And let me just say, I think that's a characteristic of Nebraska volleyball. I think that's something that if you look back through the history of the dynasty of Nebraska volleyball, we've always been a team that plays with a lot of joy, that plays for each other. And it's a very positive experience, because believe me, there are some teams that, that's not their vibe. Their vibe is much more, I don't know, how aggressive or, in your face, whatever. And historically, I mean, I hadn't really thought of that. Historically, sometimes I've thought that's maybe kind of held us back. Like, hey, we need to have a little bit more of this killer instinct, and we're awesome. And, you guys can go whatever. But now to kind of see what this team is doing in having that dominant presence, but having a lot of fun doing it, I think that's what makes the product of Nebraska volleyball so fun to observe, so fun to experience, no matter if you're experiencing it in Devaney or if you're experiencing it in the venue that we just played in at Purdue. Yeah.
You definitely see a lot of personalities on this team, which I think, like you're saying, there's some teams where it's kind of, you'll look at them and it's way more of a machine operated type of vibe, where it's like, we're here like that, here to win, here to do everything right. And Nebraska is here to win as well. But there are a lot of times, more often than not, you just see that kind of like faceless team is what I like to describe some of these teams as in any sport. But it's like with Nebraska, who these girls are for a reason. And I think we're starting to see that too with NIL and expansion of all that. And I love the way Huskers are doing. I love the Harper Murray campaign she's doing all around town. Like, those are the things that a lot of other teams aren't really capitalizing on. So it's good to see Nebraska get into that for sure.
Yeah. And can I just say that? Like, that's why Nebraska is Nebraska, and that's why I'm so proud to be a Nebraskan. Let's just take what's going on with athletics right now. I actually thought of this yesterday, right? The football team had a great win yesterday. That was so exciting to see. And I loved how, Coach Rule, he was doing stuff on social media after, and how they celebrated the one player, right, getting awarded the scholarship. To me, kind of what this reminds me of is, back in the 90s where the football team had a great run. They were winning national championships, and the volleyball team was on the cusp of getting there. And so it's just like a little bit of a role reversal, which is I think it's awesome what's happening in overall athletics at Nebraska. And I think what's really timely and what's really amazing for this Nebraska volleyball team is they're at the forefront of it. But what's so fun to watch is that it's like a uplifting of the entire athletic department. And I just think we have such great leadership at every level in our athletic department that this time right now that we're experiencing in Nebraska athletics is just really, it's really fun. And I think it gives the whole state a great amount of pride. And our volleyball team does such a good job at representing who the University of Nebraska is and what it's like to be a Nebraskan. And I just think that's really cool, and that should be celebrated.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Kind of touching on football, but I will make it into a volleyball here. The Nebraska Cornhusker football team is nationally ranked for the first time since last year. Now, they're 25th
awesome.
now. Yeah, it's amazing. That's you said it was a great win yesterday. Glad they pulled it off. Kind of scary, but kind of turning it into a volleyball comment here on the rankedness. We were talking during the break how Indiana did drop to Michigan State today, number 20th in the country. So just wanted to get some of your insight on that. Maybe how, like, I'm more of a football brained person, so I'm curious, like, when you see a top 20 team like that in Indiana drop, what does that kind of say about them and about like the whole just grand scheme of what the national rankings are in volleyball?
Well, I mean, I think, and I did some review. I watched the game, you guys, on my computer at home, and then was also doing some research. But the Big Ten Conference is very, very competitive. So when you look at who is in the top 25 for the Big Ten Conference, right? This was as of October 5th. So this was at the beginning of this week. So, right, you have Nebraska at 1. This is the AVCA rankings. I think in the RIP, maybe we were 2, because Texas was number 1. But anyway, going back to the Big Ten, right? Nebraska's at 1. Wisconsin is at 7. Purdue this week was at 12. Minnesota at 14. Penn State at 19. Indiana at 20. Southern California at 22. So, and then teams from the Big Ten that got some votes included UCLA and Illinois. So Michigan State, not necessarily in that realm, but when you look at how they're playing, they're playing pretty strong. When you look at their record, their overall conference record is 3-2. So they're kind of in the middle of the pack. Well, that will be improved because they just beat Indiana today. So what does that mean? It means that when we go into our week next week, because we're doing a road show in Michigan next week, we're going to play Michigan State on Friday. We're going to play Michigan on Sunday, which Michigan has also, they're typically a very competitive team as well. Means that, okay, Michigan State just knocked off Indiana, who was rated 20 and had not lost yet in the Big Ten, and they did it in 3 sets. So it means that the Big Ten is highly competitive, that it doesn't matter if it's a home match or if it's a away match, that you have to come out and you have to do your scouting report before you go play, and you cannot take any team, for granted. And I think the Huskers do a great job of scouting it and not doing that. But again, it'll be a great opportunity for Nebraska to be on the road, to be tested on the road, to play Friday, have a recovery day on Saturday, and then go again and play on Sunday. But both those matches in Michigan will be competitive for sure. Yeah.
I definitely have a lot more questions that I'm probably going to ask during the break, but we definitely will have some to finish up on air with in our final segment after this break. You are listening to the Nebraska Volleyball Game post-game show, and we'll be right back after this break.
Harvest season is coming, and Acres has discounted many of our late model John Deere combines. Get thousands in discounts and upgrade for this year's harvest. Plus, you could save even more with interest rates starting as low as 1.9% on select units. Low interest rates combined with our huge discounts, there's not a better time to buy. Visit acres.com for all the details. That's AKRS.com. Restrictions apply. Offer ends August 31st, 2025. Subject to approved financing. Offer may change at any time without notice.
Hey fans, there's more winning at Amigos with the VIP Game Day giveaway. Every app scan is your chance to win premium tickets to a Nebraska football, basketball, and volleyball game, along with exclusive game day perks. And when Nebraska goes to a bowl, the winner also gets 2 tickets, lodging, and airfare to the bowl game. Weekly semifinalists will win free food for a year. Go Big Red. Eat at Amigos and enter to win.
Amigos is celebrating 45 years with exclusive Nebraska Legends collectible cups featuring Tom Osborne, John Cook, and some of your favorite Huskers. For every cup sold, 50 cents goes to teammates. Show your Big Red pride by getting all 4 of these collectible cups at Amigos.
This is Tom Osborne with the Teammates Mentoring Program. We have students on the waiting list for a mentor. We want you to join the team. Learn more about mentoring and support teammates by visiting Amigos.
An overdose can happen in front of you and you might not realize it. Blue lips, slowed breathing, pinpoint pupils, choking sounds, unresponsive to touch or sounds. These signs aren't always obvious, but they can be deadly. Knowing what to do could save your friend, your neighbor, your child. Learn more by visiting myhealthymind.crediblemmind.com so you can be ready before it happens. This message is funded in part by the CDC OD2A grant.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion, for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Limitless Male says, it's all fun and games until your testosterone plummets. Testosterone levels can start falling as early as age 30 with symptoms like no energy, poor sleep, brain fog, belly fat, muscle loss, and mood swings. If this sounds familiar, get your testosterone checked at Limitless Male. We'll get you back in the game with more strength, energy, and confidence. When you feel this good, you'll wonder why you waited so long to get a free consult at Limitless Male. Get scheduled today.
I'm Karen Carr. I've been a realtor for 31 years. When I made a company change 12 years ago, I chose Lincoln First Realty, now NP Dodge. It's the oldest independently owned realty company in the country. Since becoming NP Dodge, we've continued our tradition of community involvement. Our management and staff are always available to offer support in marketing, technology, social media, and educational opportunities.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at DoorsPlusLLC.com. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
What's better than supporting your favorite radio station and eating delicious Nebraska-made products? Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska wants to highlight you, the listener, on the 93.7 The Ticket Wall of Fame at the store. Stop by the store at 48th and R in Lincoln and see their huge variety of small batch gourmet jerky. Or if you're not in the area and want to try some, go to SmokingGunJerky.com and enter code EARLY for 10% off your purchase. It's the ultimate low-calorie, high-protein snack at Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
harvest season is coming, and Acres has discounted many of our late model John Deere combines. Get thousands in discounts and upgrade for this year's harvest. Plus, you could save even more with interest rates starting as low as 1.9% on select units. Low interest rates combined with our huge discounts, there's not a better time to buy. Visit acres.com for all the details. That's AKRS.com. Restrictions apply. Offer ends August 31st, 2025. Subject to approved financing. Offer may change at any time without notice.
Hey fans, there's more winning at Amigos with the VIP Game Day giveaway. Every app scan is your chance to win premium tickets to a Nebraska football, basketball, and volleyball game, along with exclusive game day perks. And when Nebraska goes to a bowl, the winner also gets 2 tickets, lodging, and airfare to the bowl game. Weekly semifinalists will win free food for a year. Go Big Red. Eat at Amigos and enter to win.
Back to Nebraska Volleyball postgame on 93.7 The Ticket. Here is your host, former Nebraska outside hitter, Mandy Monson.
All right, welcome back to our final segment here on the Nebraska Volleyball postgame show. During the break, some slightly breaking news that I have to mention, and it's got to be me that says it, sadly, but Texas and Alabama right now are facing off, and Alabama has won the first set against Texas. Looking slightly better in that second set right now, but definitely one that we are worth keeping an eye on, at least throughout the rest of the show while we're here. But what like that, for a matchup like that, Texas, one of the top teams in the country, dropping the first set, what does that kind of do in terms of like that? Alabama's a 9-6 team.
Yeah.
No shade there, but shouldn't be happening. So what from your perspective could be the issue, or what should be happening now after that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can't say that. Like I said, I got to do my homework on Texas, but I think to have Alabama be able to take a set from Texas, considering they're a 9-6 team and not typically known to be a volleyball, powerhouse. I mean, I think that also just shows you how competitive the landscape of college volleyball is. I think if you watch college volleyball, whether you're watching the Big Ten or the SEC or the Big 12, whatever, all the different conferences, I think you just see a higher level of play in the overall game, which I think that's why the sport is growing as well. But yeah, I mean, I'm not sad to see Texas dropping a set to Alabama. That'd be interesting if they could pull it off. What's the score in set 2 right now?
Right now, Texas is up 20-15 in set 2.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they've probably made some adjustments.
Yeah.
One thing that we talked about during the break too is Whitney Lowenstein used to play at Nebraska. I don't know that she plays much for Texas, but man, she was a phenomenal athlete when she was at Nebraska. I loved watching her play. I wish she got a little bit more time for Texas just to be able to watch her as an athlete, but maybe it's a good thing because she was also a phenomenal volleyball player. So to not have to play against her may be a win. But anyway, I just think it shows you that it doesn't matter if you're in the Big 12 or the Big 10 or the SEC. Like, you got to show up to play, especially if you're in the top. Well, it doesn't matter, top 25, but especially if you're in the top 5, right? I mean, if you're, Nebraska and Texas and you are the ones that are, undefeated, and everybody is going to give you their best shot. So, it'll be interesting to see how that match plays out. I will be sure to find that one and hopefully be able to watch that one at some point. A stat that we were talking about that I think is also pretty impressive about this Husker squad and this Nebraska team is the amount of time that it takes us to put an opponent away. I have been noticing this at Devaney at the games that we're playing at home, that it does not take long. So, hey, everybody, when you're showing up at matches, either at the opposing team's venue or if you're going to come to Devaney, you do not want to be late.
No.
Because the amount of time that it takes for the Huskers to put away a team is not long. So this match against Purdue, again, the number 12 rated team in the country, the match time or the match length of time was only 1 hour and 26 minutes. I'm pretty sure Washington was also less than 90 minutes. So, I just think that shows the impressive capabilities of the Huskers to come into any venue and to be able to execute on their game plan that they've been working on all week, and to be able to, finish out the match, get the win, and then get back on the bus, then on the plane, and then come home and do some homework and get ready for the next week.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, like you're saying, if you want to catch the Huskers playing, maybe get there early, sit there. Chances are it'll be a three set match. I can't lie. But anything else you want to wrap up the show with before we get out of here? It's been obviously a dominant day of Husker volleyball.
Yeah.
Much more to look forward to. Big matches coming up. Just any final thoughts you had?
I think my final thoughts are, one, I appreciate anybody who tunes in to listen. I mean, what do we got on the numbers right now?
Yeah, right now we jumped up to 242.
You guys, 242?
Yep.
It is Sunday.
Yeah.
Right? The Husker match got over an hour ago, and you all are still listening. Like, I want to say this is so fun, you guys. Like, I am having such a great time doing this show. It's really made me be even more focused and more intentional about how I watch Nebraska volleyball, which has been such a fun experience for me, because I think this team is just so fun to watch from a physicality standpoint, to an execution on the technical aspects of the game, to then their mental presence on the court. And I think that's what makes this team so fun to watch. And I think to be able to watch them on the road as they go to Michigan State and Michigan this coming week, they'll be tested. Michigan State just came off of a great win against Indiana. So you guys tune in to watch the Huskers and see how we continue to elevate. And honestly, what a great weekend for all of Nebraska athletics. So, go Big Red, and we'll just keep the domination going.
Yep. Well, as a Longhorn fan, I will not be saying "Go Big Red" too loudly, but make sure you tune in. Make sure you tune in to more of our volleyball post-game shows moving forward. It's a great one here. Rudy Gress with Mandy Monson. Thank you for tuning in.
Thanks, guys.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
Give your furnace a break with the help of Heartland of Nebraska Windows.